Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. One of the Warriors' needs is to improve their defense, and a viable player and great defender is called Dillon Brooks. Having a strong defense is important to go far in the NBA. Only teams that have good defenders and good players in the rotation can achieve great performance. The Warriors are being plagued by defensive issues on the perimeter. Due to these events, Golden State's general manager could be extremely tempted to add a world-renowned perimeter defender to the team by any means necessary. In fact, this could lead Dunleavy to contact the front office of the Houston Rockets to inquire about a former postseason adversary of Golden State and elite defensive forward, Dillon Brooks. During his time as a member of the Memphis Grizzlies from 2017 to 2023, Brooks gained plenty of notoriety for his antics when guarding the Warriors' four-time NBA champion, Stephen Curry. Brooks' persona as a gritty defender and pest with a consistent three-point shot ultimately led Houston to add the forward in the summer of 2023. At 28 years old, Brooks is an all-defensive second-team selection, currently averaging 13.4 points and 3.9 rebounds while shooting a career-best 37.9% from three-point range this season. In his second season in Houston, Brooks is only improving on the defensive end, evidenced by his career-high 112 defensive rating per 100 possessions and -0.2 defensive box plus-minus figures. Though it may take some time to get used to seeing him around the team's facilities, trading for a player of Brooks' caliber may be the perfect transaction to extend Curry's championship window. In a potential deal to land Brooks, Golden State would likely give up assets that are conducive to winning in the present. Since Houston sits near the top of the conference standings as the number 2 seed in the West, they may seek a more consistent scoring option at the forward position like Andrew Wiggins. To Wiggins' credit, he'd still give Houston plenty of defensive production. Golden State would likely have to throw in second-round draft capital at the least to get the dominant Rockets to consider dealing with a squad fighting for a play-in tournament spot. Kuminga's future in Golden State remains uncertain. The Warriors understand that Kuminga is about to become very expensive. He will hit restricted free agency before the 2025-26 season, and his representatives will be looking for a massive payday. He's not worth a max contract, but that's where he'll want his salary negotiations to begin. It's difficult to imagine a scenario in which Golden State can meet these demands, considering their ups and downs with the franchise. Finding consistency has been the last hurdle for Kuminga. That's why it's time for the Warriors to get serious about getting value in return for their former lottery pick. Kuminga is not a perfect player, but he is an above-average starter on the wing. That position is in high demand in the NBA, which should allow Golden State's front office to turn a player they believe is flawed into a more perfect fit for Kerr to work with. Hugo Gonzalez may not end up with the Warriors, and even if he does, he may not become Kuminga's long-term replacement. The idea that Golden State is ready to draft a wing still portends a trade. This could finally be the year the franchise pulls the trigger on a Kuminga trade. The Warriors' mock draft has the board lining up Jonathan Kuminga's replacement. If Kuminga is not with the Warriors next season, they could potentially draft a replacement for him in the 2025 NBA draft. Jonathan Kuminga's name has been thrown around in trade rumors since the day the Warriors drafted him. Ironically, Golden State may end up upgrading him for a similar draft prospect as the talented forward's contract is expiring. ESPN's latest mock draft has the Warriors selecting Real Madrid winger Hugo Gonzalez with the number 13 overall pick. The 18-year-old is far from a finished prospect, but he has shown real flashes of promise this year in Spain. He's exactly the type of high-motor, two-way player who can thrive under the watchful eye of head coach Steve Kerr in Golden State. Warriors' depth pieces show potential trade value in loss to Pacers. Rarely is there much value in defeat, but the Warriors have many reasons to be pleased with what they saw from their undermanned roster and makeshift rotations Friday night. Every basketball voice on the payroll surely hopes a considerable collection of NBA scouts were in attendance at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, watching closely, taking notes and loving what they saw from the Warriors in a 108-96 loss to the streaking Indiana Pacers. The February 6 NBA trade deadline is 27 days away, and Golden State's front office is increasing its deal-making aspirations. Those expressions of patience uttered a couple weeks ago, which were reasonable, have given way in the wake of poor performances, intensifying the hunt for roster upgrades. This game provided, at the very least, observers around the league with solid auditions from a few Golden State players who might not be on the roster on February 7. With three starters, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins, unavailable and rotation players Jonathan Kuminga, Gary Payton II and Brandon Podziemski also sidelined, Warriors coach Steve Kerr had no choice but to release his entire bench and hope for the best. With Pat Spencer, Gue Santos, Moses Moody, Lindy Waters three each playing at least 23 minutes, they managed to approach victory before succumbing to the talent gap over the final 9 minutes. Great effort, Kerr told reporters in Indianapolis. Short-handed, back-to-back, the guys did a great job of really hanging in there. We just needed to have a little stretch, make 3 or 4 threes in a row, and get over the hump. I think it was 86-81 and we were right there. But, the Pacers took care of business, knocked down some shots and couldn't quite get there. Winning was highly unlikely for the Warriors, but there was enough impressive activity to inspire encouragement or, considerably more beneficial, attract the curiosity or interest of potential trade partners. Kerr's post-game comments made it evident that he would welcome the addition of a floor-stretching big man. The Warriors have expressed interest in Chicago center Nikola Vucevic, who fits that role as well as any big man in the league and considerably better than any known to be available in trade. Kerr not only acknowledged that the topic has come up in discussions with the front office, but then spent nearly a minute praising the potential of 7-foot rookie center Quinton Post, a second-round draft pick who is a project but has a nice touch from beyond the arc. It's something that, General Manager Mike Dunleavy and I talk about periodically, Kerr said. We've had guys who have helped in that regard, maybe not from the 5 spot, like Otto Porter and Belly, Nemanja Bjelica, in 2022. Both guys really stretched the floor for us, and you could feel the difference. Post played only 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, but scored 6 points, including his first NBA three-pointer. To see him come out there and space the floor, you see what the impact is, with having a space big, Kerr said. You just go pick and pop, and all of a sudden, the whole lane opens up. That's a nice look for us. It's something we don't normally have. We're generating a lot of our offense through our movement and split cuts and all that. If Quinton can develop, he could be a real threat for us and give us a totally different look offensively. It's not a stretch to extrapolate 4 words within that reply, if Quinton can develop, as a plea to add for a big man who can shoot. Someone who can provide a dimension not accessible to primary centers Tracy Jackson-Davis and Kevin Looney. Someone who can do, immediately, what Post might someday deliver. Vucevic, 34, is averaging 20.2 points a game for the Chicago Bulls. He's shooting 55.3% from the field, including career-best 42.4% beyond the arc. He's one of 4 centers in the league averaging more than 20 points and more than 10 rebounds, while also shooting at least 40% from deep. The other 3, Denver's Nikola Jokic, a 3-time MFP, New York's Karl-Anthony Towns, a 4-time All-Star and Sacramento's Domantas Sabonis, a 3-time All-Star. Adding a player who can make an immediate impact with the Warriors will require parting with some future draft capital and multiple players. Vucevic is making $20 million this season and will rise to $21.5 million in 2025-26, the final season of his contract. Kerr is visualizing the offensive benefit that comes with a center who can drain triples. It would make life easier for Curry and Green, 2 veterans that's certain to be with the Warriors beyond the trade deadline. the Warriors hope the players showcased against the Pacers were solid enough to become more attractive to potential trade partners. On a night built for defeat, at a time when they are actively shopping, that serves a purpose.